What if the thing you're most afraid of isn't failure? What if it's not rejection? What if it's not judgment? What if it's not even losing what you have? What if the thing that keeps you up at night, the thing that makes your chest tight, when you're alone with your thoughts and you're trying to figure it out and you can't put a name on it, there's just this dull, depressive feeling? What if it's the terror that you're going to reach the end of your life and realize you never actually lived it? That's what we're talking about today, guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is HCL Podcast. No guru required. I want to go super deep, super self-aware. I want to go into the fear beneath the fear that we have. And I want to think about the last time we didn't do something that mattered to us. Maybe we didn't send the email to our boss that we wanted to. We didn't have that conversation before we broke up. We didn't start the project that we had, the passion for that project of being an entrepreneur. We didn't leave the situation, didn't take the risk. And when people ask us why, we'll say, well, I'm just trying to be realistic. Some of us may even be honest and say, I'm scared of failing. Or what if it doesn't work out? But I want to offer us something uncomfortable to sit with right now. I don't think that's what we're actually afraid of. Because here's what I've learned both in my own journey and in talking to hundreds of people doing this work. When we really dig down beneath the surface level fears, you don't find fear of failure. You find something a little bit more evolutionary, a little bit more primal. You find the fear that you're capable of something so extraordinary, but you're choosing not to find out who you really are. You find the fear that you have a gift. You find the fear that you have a calling, a purpose, and you're going to die with that purpose still inside you. This is what we're put here on the earth to do. Whether you believe in God, the universe, it doesn't matter. We're put here with special gifts, with special callings, with the special purpose, each and every single one of us. I don't believe God makes a mistake in putting us here. And I don't believe in evolution where we just showed up and we're just blobs and we're here. We have too much self-awareness, too much consciousness. There's something magical going on. And when I talk to people that are in their gift, artists that paint day in and day out, are people that have a calling and they're there and they're helping animals and helping rescue them, are a purpose. I talked to a businessman the other day that's running a not-for-profit. And he was so jazzed up, so alive. And I think this is what we're afraid subconsciously of dying, that gift will never be used. The calling, the purpose will stay inside of us this whole time. Now, I know we can find the grief of knowing, and somewhere deep inside of ourselves, somewhere deep in our bones, we know we're meant for something more. But we actively choose the comfortable lie, don't we? Guys, this isn't fear of loss. This is fear of betraying your own potential. I'm going to say that again, and I hope this sits with you uncomfortably. This is my whole idea. This is fear of betraying your own potential. And that fear, it doesn't feel like fear. You know what it feels like? Depression, like numbness, like a low-grade despair that you can't quite name, but everywhere you look, it colors everything. Because on some level, you know when you're living small. You guys know it. You know when you're playing it safe. You know when you're betraying the person you could become, that higher self. And that knowing, that's what haunts us. Carl Jung, he had this concept he called the unlived life. He said that the saddest thing about human existence isn't what we lose, it's what we never become. The potential we never actualize, the life we never live. And here's what's psychologically fascinating about that is our psyche knows when we're doing this. There's a part of you, Jung called it the self, that knows exactly who you're meant to become, what you're here to do, what your soul is asking of you. And Jung called it the capital self. I call it our higher self, and a lot of spiritual teachers call it that. and you've read books on this, if you're trying to figure out who I really am, this is what your soul is asking of you. And when you ignore that call, when you choose comfort over actualization, when you betray your own potential day after day, your psyche doesn't just let that go. Guess what happens? Listen to me, please. It creates symptoms. The anxiety that won't go away, no matter how much you meditate. The depression that has no clear cause. The addiction, the numbness, the constant distraction. The feeling that something is wrong, but you can't quite name it. These aren't random. These are messages from your unlived life. Your psyche is trying to tell you you're dying. Not physically, not yet. But the person you were meant to become, that person is dying. And every day you don't live into your potential, that person just dies a little bit more and a little bit more. And the grief of that's excruciating. So we do everything we cannot to feel it, don't we? And the world has made systems for us not to feel this. All these industrial complexes, the politics that are out there, everything is designed for us not to feel our purpose. We can stay busy, we can scroll, we can drink, we can work, we can numb out. We can tell ourselves stories about why we can't. Oh my God, I talked to so many people with such elaborate victim stories. Why it's not the right time. Why we need to be more prepared. But underneath all that, guys, because you've always known. And here's the worst part. The absolute worst part is, it's that this is happening to you. And you're doing it to yourself. Nobody's stopping you. There's no external force. There's nothing keeping you small. It's just you choosing it. Every single day, choosing safety over truth, choosing comfort over calling, choosing the known over the unknown. And that realization that you're the one betraying yourself, it's almost unbearable to sit with. So most people don't. Most people spend their entire lives running from that awareness. We all know the amazing story of Jonah and the whale. That's such a beautiful story. And I encourage you to read, it's a small chapter in the Bible. I encourage you to read Jonah. And then I want to put you running away from your higher self and what that looks like. But guess what? You're here right now listening to this, which means there's some part of you I believe is ready to stop running. And all of us need a moment of reckoning. And there's this moment that happens. And if you're lucky, it happens while you still have time to do something about it. But it's this moment when you can't pretend anymore. When the gap between who you are and who you could become becomes so wide that you can't ignore it. And for some people, it's a health crisis. Others, it's a breakup, it's a death, a complete breakdown. I've seen people completely break down. And then from there, in that brokenness, the light shines through in the realization of who they are. All those masks fall off. And I know for some of you, waking up on your 25th birthday or 40th birthday and realizing that you spent 20, 30, 40 years waiting for permission, that is never going to come. But if the moment arrives, if it happens, and when it does, you're going to have a choice. You're going to have a choice to keep numbing, to keep pretending, to keep choosing the comfortable death. We've all watched that movie, hopefully, Wall-E, where everybody's just sitting around on floats and drinking milkshakes and entertained by a television, a screen. If you choose that life, fine. I believe your next meat suit, you'll be more self-aware and maybe you'll figure it out. But if you choose the higher self, the terrifying alternative, you get to choose to live. Not the Instagram version of living, not the follow your passion and the money will come fantasy, but the real, messy, uncertain, often unglamorous work of becoming who you actually are. And let me be clear about what that requires. Are you ready? It requires grieving the life you thought you wanted. The safe one, the predictable one, the one that you've got a college education for, the one that you've invested so much time and energy in. The one where you don't have to feel so much emotions or be self-aware. The one where you don't have to be vulnerable. Next, it requires forgiving yourself for all the years you wasted, for all the time you choose fear, for all the potential you let die, for all the ways you betrayed yourself. Then it requires accepting that you might fail. You might try, but you're going to fall flat on your face. You might pour your heart into something and it's not going to work out. You might be judged, criticized, rejected by even your own family, partner, whoever it may be. But here's what I've learned. That's not the scary part. You're like, Jason, I can't believe that's not the scary part. No, the scary part, the true terrifying part, is that you might succeed. You might actually become who you were meant to be. You might actually live the life you were built for, that I believe you were put on this earth here for to learn. And if you do that, you can never go back to pretending. You can never return to the comfortable lie. You can never unknow what you're capable of. I'm going to say that again. When you become self-aware, you can never unknow what you're capable of. That's the real fear, not failure, irreversibility. The fear that if you actually step into your potential, you'll never be able to settle for anything less. So the choice is for you to make right now. And here's what I want you to understand. You're already making a choice. Every day you wake up, you don't do the thing, you smoke the weed, you don't have the conversation, you don't take the step, you numb out on Netflix, you're choosing the unlived life. And I'm not saying that to shame you. I'm saying it because you need to see it clearly. You're not waiting for the right time because there is no right time. You're not being responsible. You're being scared. And a lot of you that say you're being realistic, you're just betraying your potential. And you know what the cost of that betrayal is? It's not just your dream. It's not just your goal. It's your aliveness, your vitality, your sense of meaning, your soul. That's what your soul is. Every day you choose safety over truth, a little more of you dies. Every day you choose comfort over calling, you become a little more of a ghost, a little more numb, a little more hollow. And that's what we see. And when people are 60, 70, 80 years old, and we see this now, and they've chose a whole life of this comfort, and now there are leaders, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, I don't care what they are, and all they are wanting to do is feed this numbness. They don't want a whole bunch. What would happen if 300 million people here in the United States and then billions around the world began to see their dreams, their potential, and their gifts? There would be no need for a government. And I'm going to say something that's going to offend some of you. Government is forced. Look it up. That's what it is. We agree that we need these rules and regulations. If everyone's operating in their higher self, you need less government. Let me tell you something. If I had one life, which I have right now, and I have gifts, which I know I'm operating in, my dreams and my potential, I'm trying my hardest to do the things that I need to do to succeed. And I'm done playing it safe. I don't want to wait anymore. I don't want to be afraid. I have another shot, and it's right now. It's not too late for any of you. All of you still have time. If you're breathing right now, if you're listening to this, you still have time. And right now, you can still choose the harder path, the uncertain path, the path that requires you to trust yourself more than you trust your fear. Think about that. We trust our fear more than we trust who we truly are. You can still choose to honor your potential, or you can betray it like you've been. And yes, guys, yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's scary. Yes, you're going to fail. You're going to. I promise you that. But with everything that I have inside of me, every fiber of my being totally 110% honest with you, the pain of trying and failing is nothing compared to the pain of never trying at all. The regret of I did it and it didn't work, that heals, guys. I tried the relationship, I worked on it, and it didn't work. Okay, next. That person wasn't for me. That job wasn't for me. But the regret of like I never win, and even though I was in love with this person and I knew it and I never, that will haunt us, doesn't it? Not trying, that's what's haunting. And I want to end in this, the question that changes everything. Here's a practice. I always give you simple practices. I want you to imagine, to really imagine that you're at the end of your life. I want you to see yourself in a hospital bed, old. Imagine what you look like old. They have Snapchat filters for that. If those of you that are young, I want you to take that out and look at yourself old. Then I want you to look back on everything you did and didn't do. And then from that older self, Alex Hormozi talks about this. He talks to his 80-year-old self. And from that 80-year-old vantage point, I want you to ask yourself this question: what would I regret not trying? Not what would I regret failing at. What would I regret not trying? What would I regret not even attempting? What conversation would I regret not having? What move would I regret not making? What version of myself would I regret never becoming? Write it down right now. Pause this episode and write it down, because that's the answer. And you know what's so beautiful about that? For the first time, your fear and your ego and that monkey reptilian brain is not talking to you anymore. The fear doesn't talk. The conditioning doesn't yell at you. That's the part that wants to stay safe. The part when you do this exercise, what begins to come out, that's your soul. And it's telling you exactly what it needs from you. And once you know that, once you've named what you regret not trying, now you have a choice. You can keep ignoring it, betraying it, keep choosing a comfortable death, or you can start today, right now. Even if you're terrified. Some of you are terrified, I know it. Even if you don't know how, even if you might fail, you can choose to honor your potential instead of betraying it. And we get to live the life we were meant to live. And I'm not going to tell you this is easy. I'm not going to tell you that it's not just follow your bliss, everything's going to work out. This is hard, guys. But this is the work. It's hard work, but this is the work that actually matters. Because at the end of your life, nothing else is going to matter except this. Did you live? And did you really, truly, soulfully live? Or did you spend your whole life preparing to live, waiting to live, afraid to live? That's the question. Are you answering it right now? And are you answering it in action with every choice you make? So choose wisely. And if this hits you, if you felt this in your body, guys, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to stop betraying yourself and start doing the work, start listening to this podcast. Subscribe, guys. This is deep shadow work. It's practices that helps you identify exactly who you can become. I want each and every one of you, the stuff that I've struggled through, the depression, the anxiety, the Marine Corps with all the craziness that I experienced in my life, the me working and spending thousands of dollars on different gurus and listening to YouTube videos and reading thousands of books and realizing that no guru is required. Sadhguru, amazing. He said the book's inside of you. And it is. It was only written for you. The higher self has a book inside of you ready to go. So guys, until next time, stop waiting and start living.